My friend, hear this now, not as a message of man, but as a wake-up call from beyond time itself. You were not placed here by accident. You are not a random occurrence drifting through minutes and hours like a leaf in the wind. No, your life is a divine appointment, and time, that mysterious force we chase and waste, fight and fear time, was never meant to be your enemy. It was meant to be your servant. Time is not your enemy, it is your assignment. From the moment we enter this world, we are placed into a river called time. We move with it, live within it, and are shaped by its flow. But many of us see time as something we must battle, something we never seem to have enough of, always running from, always chasing. We wake up feeling behind, we fall asleep feeling unaccomplished, and in between, we measure our worth by how much we manage to squeeze into the fleeting hours of the day. But this is a distortion. This is not how we were meant to see time. Time was never created to be your enemy. It was given to you as your field, your assignment, your holy ground. The Creator placed you in time not to be defeated by it, but to fulfill something within it. Time is not random. Your existence in this hour, in this season of history, is intentional. You were placed into this segment of time on purpose for a purpose, and so time is not against you. It is entrusted to you. You are its steward. You are responsible for how you use it, how you move in it, how you shape it, and how it shapes you. When you view time as your enemy, you live reactively. You are constantly trying to catch up, constantly trying to control what slips through your fingers. You begin to see time as a thief, always taking from you, always demanding, never giving. But when you understand that time is your assignment, everything changes. You stop being a victim of time and start becoming its master. You stop asking, "How can I get more time?" and start asking, "What has time been given to me for?" That question shifts everything, because now you're not looking at your watch, you're looking at your mission. You're not measuring your life by the hours, but by the impact. You're not trapped by your schedule, you are called within it. Time is sacred because it is the container of your calling. It is the soil in which your purpose must grow. Just as a farmer does not curse the land, but works it diligently to produce a harvest, so must you work the time you've been given. Every morning that you wake up is not just another day. It is a continuation of your divine assignment. You have not been given this moment simply to exist in it, but to fulfill something within it, to accomplish what was written for you before time itself began. You must begin to treat your time as a commission. Just as a soldier is assigned to a mission and given orders, so too have you been given the precious currency of time to carry out your purpose. You are not here to wander through your days in distraction or delay. You are here to move with intention, to walk in alignment, to fulfill the work that only you can do in the specific window of time you've been given. If you begin to see time as your assignment, you will no longer waste it on things that do not matter. You will guard it, not out of fear of losing it, but out of reverence for what it holds. You will prioritize differently. You will speak with more care, act with more conviction, and live with more clarity. Time will no longer be something slipping away from you. It will become something you are stepping into. Not every moment will feel extraordinary, but every moment will be filled with purpose if you see it rightly. You redeem time by aligning it with purpose. Time in itself is neutral. It is not good or bad. It simply flows forward, second by second, moment by moment. But what you do within it, how you use it, how you fill it, that is where meaning is born. You cannot stop time, you cannot rewind it, and you cannot slow it down, but you can redeem it. You can take what seems ordinary and make it eternal. You can transform wasted hours into sacred ones by aligning them with the very purpose for which you were created. Redemption implies something lost being bought back, something broken being made whole, and there is no greater loss in life than time misused, time lived without intention, time spent out of alignment with purpose. When we live disconnected from our calling, when our actions do not reflect our values, when we pursue things that have no eternal weight, we waste what is most precious. But the beauty of time is that as long as you are breathing, you can redeem it. You can begin again. You can realign every hour, every day, every decision with something that matters, something that lasts. Purpose is what gives time value. Without purpose, time is just a measurement. It comes and goes without significance, but when time is filled with purpose, it becomes holy. A conversation becomes a moment of ministry, a task becomes an act of worship, a delay becomes preparation. You do not redeem time by doing more. You redeem it by doing what matters most, and what matters most is not always visible to others. Sometimes redeeming time means being still before the voice of God. Sometimes it means serving without recognition, sacrificing without applause, choosing the narrow road when the wide path looks easier. To align time with purpose requires clarity. You must know why you are here. You must know the work that has been placed in your hands. You must be willing to examine your hours, your habits, your heart. It is easy to live distracted, to fill your schedule with motion that lacks meaning. But if you would stop and ask, is this aligned with why I was created? Does this reflect the purpose of my life? Then time becomes your ally. You begin to move differently, speak differently, spend differently. You live with a sense of urgency, not out of panic, but out of passion. There is a divine order to time. Seasons come and go, each with their own purpose. You cannot force harvest in the season of planting, nor can you rest in the season of battle. Redeeming time means recognizing the season you are in and responding to it with faithfulness. It means not comparing your timing with others, not rushing ahead or lagging behind, but walking in step with the path that has been uniquely marked out for you. You redeem time by refusing to live passively. Passivity is the enemy of purpose. Time must be taken hold of, not watched from a distance. It must be stewarded, not simply survived. The hours of your life are not infinite. They are a sacred trust, and each one is an opportunity to walk closer to your calling or further from it. Every time you say yes to your purpose, you reclaim what would have otherwise been lost. Every time you choose alignment over convenience, discipline over distraction, vision over comfort, you redeem a moment that might have slipped away into nothingness. When you align time with purpose, even the smallest tasks are infused with meaning. Your work becomes mission. Your daily routine becomes a vessel for divine impact. You begin to live not for success, but for significance, not for what is temporary, but for what is eternal. In this way, time is no longer just passing by, it is being transformed. It becomes the canvas on which purpose is painted, the ground where destiny unfolds, the vessel through which heaven touches earth. Every moment is a seed. Plant with intention. Each second that passes is not empty. It carries the potential to produce something greater than itself. Moments are not meaningless blips in time. They are seeds, and what you plant in them determines the harvest of your future. Just as a farmer does not scatter seed at random, but chooses the soil carefully, measures the season, and sows with vision, so must you handle the moments of your life. Every word you speak, every action you take, every thought you entertain is a seed being planted in time, and time will always bear fruit according to what is sown. The law of sowing and reaping is as old as creation itself. It governs not only the physical world, but the spiritual and emotional realms as well. You cannot plant bitterness and reap joy. You cannot sow laziness and harvest abundance. You cannot invest your time in distraction and expect a destiny to unfold. Moments are not neutral, they carry weight, they carry consequence. What you do with them will either build or break, nourish or drain, align or scatter. This is why intention is everything. The seed does not determine the harvest on its own, the planter does. You are the sower, you choose what is placed into the soil of each hour, and you are not sowing only for today. You are sowing for next week, for next year, for the legacy that outlives you. The future is not something you stumble into, it is something you plant into. If you want peace later, plant discipline now. If you want wisdom later, plant study now. If you want love, plant kindness. If you want truth, plant integrity. The harvest you desire begins with the seed you choose in this very moment. Some seeds will not show their fruit for a long time. That does not mean they are wasted. It means they are rooted deep. There are seeds of faithfulness, obedience, prayer, sacrifice, and character that grow beneath the surface long before anyone sees the evidence. But they are growing, they are preparing for their appointed time, and just because a seed is small does not mean its fruit will be small. One word of encouragement, one act of service, one step in the right direction can change the course of a life. The enemy of intentional planting is careless living. When you let your days be ruled by habit rather than purpose, when you give your time to whatever demands it loudest instead of what matters most, you begin to scatter your seeds with no aim. You cannot expect to walk in destiny while planting in distraction. You must wake up each day knowing that you are a planter of futures. Your calendar is your field. Your schedule is your soil. You are either cultivating something beautiful or allowing weeds to overrun your time. To plant with intention requires focus. It means asking yourself not just what you are doing, but why you are doing it. It means guarding your moments, protecting them from the trivial and the toxic. It means aligning your time with your values, your choices with your calling. It may mean planting in tears, doing what is right even when it is hard, but those who sow in tears will reap with joy. It may mean planting in secret, doing what is good even when no one sees. But your Father, who sees in secret, will reward openly, and so the question must be asked, what are you planting today? What are you doing with the moments given to you? You are not at the mercy of time. You are shaping it. You are not just passing through life. You are planting in it. The fruit of your future is hidden in the seeds you hold right now. Treat them as sacred. Choose them with care. Sow them with purpose, because every moment is a seed. Living by the call is greater than living by the clock. The world teaches you to measure life by minutes and manage your worth by how much you can do in an hour. The schedule becomes sacred, the deadline becomes law, and the clock becomes a master that demands your allegiance. But there is something higher than the clock, something greater than the ticking of time. There is a call, a divine summons that does not answer to the tyranny of the urgent, a voice that speaks not in seconds but in eternity. To live by the call is to rise above the surface of time and walk in rhythm with the one who exists beyond it. The clock gives you data, but the call gives you direction. The clock tells you how much time has passed, but the call tells you what to do with the time you have. The clock can rush you, pressure you, and push you into empty busyness, but the call draws you, aligns you, and steadies your steps. You can live your entire life on schedule and still miss your destiny. You can be on time and still be out of purpose, because the clock measures quantity, but the call speaks to quality. The call does not care how much you accomplish in a day if what you accomplished was not appointed for you. To live by the call is to listen. It is to tune your ear not only to the noise of responsibility, but to the still, small voice of divine intention. The call will not always align with convenience. It will often interrupt your plans, challenge your routines, and stretch your comfort zones. But it will never lead you into emptiness. The clock may lead you into exhaustion, but the call will lead you into fulfillment. The clock can make you efficient, but the call will make you effective. The great deception is to believe that if you fill your calendar, you have fulfilled your calling. But activity is not the same as purpose. Many are busy but not fruitful. Many are moving fast but going nowhere. The call does not ask if you are moving quickly. It asks if you are moving rightly. It does not ask if your time is full. It asks if your time is faithful. The call is not about urgency. It is about obedience. Living by the call requires courage. It requires you to say no to good things so you can say yes to the right things. It requires you to sometimes step out of the flow of the world and walk the narrow path that few understand. It may require you to slow down when everyone else is speeding up, or to act when others hesitate. The call is not always loud, but it is always clear to those who seek it. It is a compass that will guide you through the chaos of a clock-driven life. The clock will measure your life in years, but the call will measure it in impact. The clock will eventually run out, but the call will echo into eternity. You are not here just to fill days on a calendar. You are here to fulfill a purpose written before you were born. The call existed before the clock ever began. You are not a slave to time. You are an instrument of purpose, a vessel called to walk in step with a higher rhythm. When you begin to live by the call, your days may look different, your pace may change, but your life will begin to reflect the reason you were placed on this earth. You can't change the past, but you can transform the now. Regret is a heavy burden that many carry, and time often becomes its mirror. The moments that slipped away, the words that were never spoken, the wrong turns taken, all of it sits like a shadow in the mind. And though the past cannot be touched or altered, it continues to shape the present for those who allow it. But the truth is that the past has no power to hold you unless you give it permission. What has already happened is sealed. What is not yet written is still within your reach. The power lies not in looking back, but in what you choose to do with this very moment. There is no one who has lived without mistakes. There is no life that has unfolded without detours, disappointments, or seasons that feel wasted. But even in the aftermath of failure, there remains an open door. That door is the now. The present moment is sacred not because it erases the past, but because it gives you the authority to respond to it differently. The present is not a prisoner of yesterday. It is the place where redemption begins. You cannot go back and change what you did or what was done to you, but you can choose what you do now, and in that choice is the seed of transformation. To transform the now is to reclaim your power. It is to stop repeating old patterns, to silence the voices of shame, and to step into responsibility with courage. It is to declare that your identity is not defined by where you've been, but by what you choose today. Many waste their present by rehearsing the past. They replay conversations, relive pain, rewrite outcomes in their imagination, hoping somehow it will shift what already is. But the energy spent lamenting what cannot be changed is the energy not spent building what can still be shaped. Transformation only begins when you stop trying to fix what is behind and start aligning what is ahead. The now is a holy gift because it is the only place where change can actually happen. The future is still a mystery, and the past is already written, but the present is alive. It breathes with potential. It carries the full weight of your ability to act, speak, love, forgive, and rebuild. And though you may have wasted yesterday, you do not have to waste today. The moment you wake up to that truth, everything shifts. You are no longer bound to the script of regret. You are free to rewrite the story, not from the beginning, but from this chapter forward. The transformation of the now begins with awareness. You must see the moment you're in. You must stop and acknowledge that the breath in your lungs is opportunity. You must refuse to be distracted by the noise around you or numbed by the habits that keep you asleep to your purpose. To transform the now is to live with your eyes open, to be present in your own life, to take ownership of your thoughts, your actions, and your direction. It does not require perfect circumstances to transform the now. It only requires a decision to no longer delay what must be done, a decision to walk away from what no longer belongs in your life, a decision to speak the truth, take the risk, begin the work, offer the apology, extend the grace. These decisions, though small, are what shift the atmosphere of your life. They create momentum. They open the way for new beginnings, not in theory but in reality. You may not be able to start over, but you can start from here. The past does not need to be rewritten in order for the future to be different. It only requires that you show up fully to the moment at hand and choose to live it with intention, with clarity, with boldness. The now is not just a pause between what was and what will be. It is the place where everything changes. Time is on your side. When you're on the side of destiny, time often feels like a force that works against you. It runs ahead when you want to slow down, drags when you want to move forward, slips away when you try to hold on. It reminds you of what hasn't happened yet and what can no longer be retrieved. But that is only when you are out of alignment with the reason you were placed on this earth. When you walk in step with your calling, time no longer fights you. It begins to serve you because time at its core was created not to punish but to fulfill. And when your life is aligned with your purpose, time becomes a servant of that purpose. You were not born randomly. You were placed into a moment of history that was chosen specifically for you. Your gifts, your voice, your presence, all of it was designed for this appointed time. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. The timing of your life is part of a greater orchestration that you may not fully see, but it is precise. Destiny is not a vague hope or a distant dream. It is a divine assignment written before time began, waiting to be unlocked by your obedience. When you choose to align yourself with that destiny, everything begins to shift. You stop striving against time and start walking with it. Delays no longer feel like denials. Detours no longer feel like defeats. Because when you're on the side of destiny, even the waiting has purpose, even the silence is sacred. Time is not your obstacle, it is the pathway through which your purpose unfolds. What once felt like pressure becomes preparation. What once felt like loss becomes positioning. The power of destiny is that it redefines your relationship with time. You no longer measure success by speed, but by significance. You no longer panic over timelines because you trust the process that is unfolding beyond what you can see. You begin to recognize that the right thing at the wrong time is still the wrong thing, and that there is wisdom in letting things grow according to divine timing. The same God who appointed your purpose also appointed your seasons. And when you walk in step with him, time becomes your partner, not your rival. To live on the side of destiny means living with intention. It means waking up each day not just to survive, but to fulfill. It means listening to the inner compass that guides you not by convenience, but by calling. Time begins to cooperate with you when you commit to walking in the direction of why you were created. Doors open not by chance, but by alignment. Opportunities appear not by coincidence, but by design. The seasons of your life begin to make sense, not always in the moment, but in the unfolding. Being on the side of destiny does not mean everything happens quickly. It means everything happens with purpose. It does not mean every moment is easy, but that every moment is essential. Time begins to work for you because you are working for something greater than yourself. Your hours are no longer wasted on what is empty. Your days are no longer spent chasing shadows. You become a builder of what lasts, a carrier of what matters, a vessel for what is eternal. There is a peace that comes when you realize you are where you're supposed to be. There is a confidence that rises when you stop measuring yourself against others and start measuring yourself against your assignment. Time stops being a countdown to fear and starts being a rhythm of fulfillment. It beats with the pulse of purpose, it flows in harmony with heaven, and though the world may rush and strive, you move with assurance, knowing that the times and seasons are not random, they are appointed. So redeem the moments, reclaim the hours, and walk not by the ticking of the clock, but by the calling on your life. You were not created to chase time. You were created to command it by aligning it with heaven's purpose. The past cannot bind you, and the future does not need to frighten you. What you hold now is sacred ground, this moment, this breath, this choice. It is the soil where destiny takes root. Time is not your enemy. Time is your assignment. Use it as a weapon, as a tool, as a testimony. Live every day as if it matters, because it does. Time on your side means purpose in your steps, eternity in your focus, and heaven at your back. The life you were born to live is not found in someday it begins now.